The night I believed would bring my wife and me closer became the beginning of a painful journey that changed everything I thought I knew about love and trust. Looking back now, I realize that even the happiest memories can quietly hide the first cracks of a life that seems perfect from the outside. My name is Ethan Carter, and I lived with my wife Olivia and our 2 young children in the peaceful town of Asheville, North Carolina, where every season painted the mountains with a different kind of beauty. We had built a comfortable life. Through years of hard work, shared dreams, and countless sacrifices, and I truly believed there was nothing strong enough to pull our family apart. Winter had settled over the town with endless rain, icy winds, and dark skies that seemed determined to steal every bit of joy from people trying to survive another cold season. Even so, our home remained warm, because Olivia always found little ways to make ordinary days feel special, whether she was baking fresh cookies with the kids or sewing beautiful clothes that reflected her creativity and cheerful spirit. One evening, after putting our daughter Emma and our little son Noah to bed, I apologized for becoming distant during the stressful weeks at work, admitting that I had allowed exhaustion to replace the laughter we once shared every day. Olivia smiled gently, squeezed my hand across the living room couch, and reminded me that difficult seasons always pass when 2 people continue choosing each other instead of giving up. Hoping to leave the gloomy winter behind, Olivia excitedly suggested that we accept an invitation from our longtime friends for an elegant dinner and live music at a newly opened downtown hotel the following weekend, promising it would be the perfect chance to reconnect as husband and wife. I smiled and agreed without hesitation, never imagining that the evening we expected to celebrate our marriage would quietly become the first chapter of the greatest heartbreak I had ever experienced. The entire week leading up to our night out felt surprisingly exciting because Olivia kept reminding me that she had designed a brand new emerald green dress with her own hands, refusing to let me see it before the evening arrived. She laughed every time I tried to peek into her sewing room, saying that some surprises only become magical when they are revealed at exactly the right moment. When Saturday finally arrived, the rain had disappeared and the city seemed alive, again with bright lights reflecting across the streets and people filling every restaurant after spending weeks trapped indoors. I picked up a bouquet of white lilies on my way home, and the smile on Olivia's face made me feel like I had fallen in love with her all over again. A few minutes later, she slowly walked down the staircase, wearing the beautiful green dress she had created, and for a brief moment I honestly forgot how to breathe, because she looked more stunning than she had on our wedding day. She laughed at the amazed expression on my face, gently fixed my tie, and whispered that I was staring at her as if we had just met for the first time. Our friends were already waiting when we arrived at the luxury hotel, and the evening quickly filled with warm conversations, delicious food, playful jokes, and stories about old memories that reminded us how many years we had shared together. I noticed several people glancing toward Olivia throughout dinner because of her elegant appearance, but I only felt proud knowing that the incredible woman beside me had chosen to build her life with me. After dinner, we followed everyone into the rooftop lounge where a live band filled the room with slow romantic music, and couples soon crowded the dance floor under hundreds of sparkling lights. Just as Olivia reached for my hand with a smile that promised an unforgettable dance. Together, a confident stranger wearing an expensive suit walked directly toward our table, setting in motion a chain of events none of us could have predicted. The man introduced himself as Mason Brooks, a well-known technology entrepreneur whose face often appeared in local business magazines, and he greeted everyone with effortless confidence before politely asking Olivia if she would honor him with one dance. I expected her to smile, thank him for the compliment, and gently refuse because we had planned to spend the entire evening together. But instead she looked at me with uncertain eyes before quietly accepting his invitation. I forced a smile as I watched them walk toward the dance floor, telling myself it was only one harmless dance and that I had no reason to doubt the woman who had stood beside me through so many years. Even so, an uncomfortable feeling settled deep inside my chest as I noticed how naturally they laughed together while the music carried them across the crowded room. One song became two, and then another slow melody began playing as they continued talking without once looking back toward our table, making every passing minute feel much longer than the last. Our friends tried to distract me with casual conversation, but their uneasy expressions told me they also realized the evening was beginning to take an unexpected turn. When Olivia finally returned, her smile looked forced instead of joyful, and before I could quietly ask if everything was all right, her closest friend, Lauren, quickly suggested they visit the ladies' room together to freshen up before the next set of music. Olivia gave my hand a gentle squeeze and whispered that she would only be gone for a few minutes, leaving me with a strange feeling that I could not explain. 10 minutes passed, then another 10, and my growing concern pushed me to search the lobby, wondering if something had happened or if she simply needed a little time alone after the crowded evening. Just as I reached the front entrance, Lauren slowly walked toward me by herself, with tears gathering in her eyes, and before she spoke a single word, I knew my life was about to change forever. Lauren stopped a few feet away and struggled to meet my eyes before quietly admitting that Olivia had stepped outside with Mason because she wanted to talk somewhere more private for a while. My heart pounded as I stared at her, in disbelief, unable to understand why my wife would disappear without saying a single word when we had come there to celebrate our marriage together. Without waiting another second, I rushed through the front doors and searched the hotel entrance, the parking lot, and every nearby sidewalk, hoping I would find Olivia before she made a decision that could destroy everything we had built. The cold night air stung my face as I called her phone again and again, but every call went unanswered, making the silence feel louder than the traffic around me. When I returned to the lobby, Lauren handed me a short text that Olivia had sent, only moments earlier, saying she needed time to think and asking everyone not to look for her until morning. Those few words felt heavier than anything I had ever read because they offered no explanation, no comfort, and no promise that our life together would ever be the same again. I quietly thanked the hotel staff, collected our coats, and walked out alone, replaying every conversation we had shared over the past few months as I searched for signs that I had somehow missed. The drive home seemed endless because every happy memory of our family was now mixed with painful questions that refused to leave my mind. When I unlocked the front door, the house was completely silent except for the ticking clock in the hallway, reminding me that the happiest place in my life suddenly felt empty. I sat on the living room couch until sunrise with my wedding photo in my hands, realizing that the hardest part was not knowing whether I had already lost the woman I loved or whether there was still a chance to save our family. The next morning, I finally received a message from Olivia asking if we could talk, and for a few seconds I felt a small wave of hope that maybe she had realized the pain she caused and wanted to repair the damage between us. When she arrived at the house, she looked tired and emotional, but the distance in her eyes hurt more than any argument we had ever shared. Olivia explained that Mason had made her feel noticed and admired in a way she had not expected, but I struggled to accept that a few compliments from a stranger could make her forget the promises we had made to each other. I told her that marriage was not only about good moments, romantic dinners, or exciting surprises, but about protecting each other's hearts even when temptation appeared. After a long conversation filled with tears, apologies, and painful honesty, Olivia admitted that she had made a selfish choice and allowed one evening of attention to become more important than the family we had created together. I realized that forgiveness and trust were not the same thing, and while I still cared about her deeply, I knew rebuilding our relationship would require more than simple words. Over the following months, I focused on being the best father I could be, creating a stable home for Emma and Noah, while learning how to move forward from a wound I never expected to experience. The hardest lesson I discovered was that love is not proven by never facing problems, but by the choices people make when those problems appear in front of them. Today, I no longer define my life by the night everything fell apart, because I have learned that painful endings can also become the beginning of personal growth, strength, and a better future. Please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. We create entertaining and inspiring stories for our viewers, and your support helps us continue making great content for you.